Before we start today, I want to let you know that this episode contains discussions of child abuse and audio recordings of children in distress. From the San Francisco Public Press, you're listening to Civic. I'm Sylvie Sturm. On this bonus episode, we're updating a story about family courts that aired in February. In that episode, we discussed the case of two young siblings, Maya and Sebastian Lang. Maya was 15 and Sebastian was 11 when they were violently taken from their grandmother's Santa Cruz home last October by court order. Judge Rebecca Connolly, who oversaw their custody case, she didn't believe the siblings' claims that their mother was abusing them. Judge Connolly instead believed that this was a case of something called parental alienation. In previous episodes of Civic, we explored how parental alienation came to be and the firm grip its promoters have on family courts. It's the theory that one parent can brainwash their child into making false claims of abuse against the other parent. The mother's lawyer in Maya and Sebastian's case hired a paid professional to testify that allegations of abuse leveled against their client had no merit because the dad had brainwashed his kids into lying. So, Judge Connolly ordered the kids into their mother's custody. But first, she decided that they would have to undergo reunification therapy. That's a training program that family courts impose on children who they believe were manipulated into lying about abuse. It's meant to undo their supposed brainwashing. Their father and anyone on his side of the family were banned from contacting Maya and Sebastian for 90 days. And the kids would be transported to a Los Angeles office where their mother and a reunification professional named Lynn Steinberg were waiting for them. When transport agents arrived to take them away, Maya and Sebastian posted an Instagram video asking for friends to come and witness the scene.
They're going to take us away, and if they take us away, I don't think they'll ever get back here. And I'm really scared. I'm going to take us to like a reunification camp or something where we won't be able to see any of my family. Please help us. And please come and help us, and just stay outside, and please don't leave, and just be there, because that's the most helpful thing you can do.
Several friends and accompanying adults showed up and recorded what happened. The video showed 3 transport agents encircling the siblings as they cried, begged, and refused to go.
If you have any ounce of goodness in you, walk down that driveway and leave us alone.
In less than 10 minutes, the agents physically picked them up and forced them into an awaiting car. The video showed Maya's shirt riding up to her shoulders and her pants sliding down her hips as agents held her by the torso and legs. And in that chaos, Maya's head hit the car door. The transport agency, called Assisted Intervention, Inc., declined an interview request. That was 7 months ago, and that's the last anyone knew about Maya and Sebastian's condition or whereabouts. Until now. On Monday, May 29th, Maya and Sebastian posted 3 videos to Instagram describing what they had endured during that transport and the subsequent reunification training.
In the car, they pushed me like this in the throat, like into the back seat, and buckled my seatbelt. And I was just like so scared I didn't move at all. And then they grabbed my sister, Maya.
Like after they grabbed me, they were holding me down on the floor, and I'm sure the video shows my pants had been pulled down and they were holding me in like a full body lock where my neck was like to the side. And it wasn't until we were like on the freeway, like 10 minutes later, that they even let me pull back up my pants or get off the floor of the car or get me out of a hold. And then they shoved me into the back of the car and my back was hurt. And at some point I got my lips split open, like my braces got shoved into it. I think when I was shoved against the car door, and it was like bleeding everywhere.
After they took us to LA, and basically what I said happened. They called us liars and psychopaths and everything.
They like threatened to send us to a camp like a wilderness camp where if we wouldn't comply, we wouldn't get food or blankets.
They announced in one of the videos that they had, quote, escaped their mother's custody.
We finally got away, so update, and we're doing okay now that we got away.
The siblings didn't disclose their location. In response to a request for comment, their mother, Jessica Lang, emailed a link to a page on the website for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The webpage showed 2 missing child posters, each featuring Maya and Sebastian. In one of their videos, Maya and Sebastian urged their followers not to believe claims that they were under duress.
We're getting away, and just wanted to say, we haven't been kidnapped or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely not.
they said that. We're safe now. We're in a safe place.
Reunification trainer Lynn Steinberg declined an interview for our earlier episode, and she didn't respond to an interview request for this update. But as we previously reported, in a podcast called Slam the Gavel that aired last fall, Steinberg talked about Maya and Sebastian's case. She dismissed concerns that the children were traumatized during transport.
When the kids arrived at my office, they were in perfectly fine shape. They were friends with the transporters, and there were no marks on them, although they had bitten and kicked and bruised the people who transported them.
But that doesn't correspond with what Maya and Sebastian claim. And in a written request for comment, Maya told me that they viewed their transporters as, quote, kidnappers that we were forced to placate, end quote. Steinberg also accused their father of orchestrating the crowd that gathered outside their grandmother's home last October during Maya and Sebastian's removal. Maya also refuted this claim in another message to me. She wrote, quote, our dad in no way orchestrated our protest to being taken. We did what was the only reasonable response to 3 aggressive strangers, backed up by police officers, coming after us and trying to drag us into a strange car in the middle of the night. End quote. In fact, the protests didn't end the night Maya and Sebastian were taken. They sparked a movement among Santa Cruz teens who viewed the siblings' treatment as a violation of basic human rights.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Claire Proddy is a 16-year-old sophomore and a friend of Maya's. She said that even though she followed her friend's case closely and was even present during some of the court proceedings, she was shocked by what happened.
Once that fateful October day happened and Maya was ripped away from us, we were thinking, this is not real. There's no way that this would happen. But all of the data points to the fact that Maya and Sebastian are very much in danger and very much not able to speak out at all or to be able to talk to their family or friends or their community. So we figured we had to step in and try to be their voice while they couldn't.
Proddy and around 9 other teenagers and their parents began organizing protests outside Santa Cruz Family Court, and they lobbied politicians to do something. Those efforts were quickly rewarded. Just a month after Maya and Sebastian were taken, Santa Cruz lawmakers held a press conference outside their grandmother's home to announce legislation that would ban transport agents from getting physical with children.
We've heard your pleas. We share your concerns. We want Maya and Sebastian to be safe and no other child to go through this. We will take action.
The ordinance applies only to unincorporated areas of the county, so the young activists are continuing to fight.
Private transporters, the ones who grabbed her and slammed her head into the ground and into a car door and ended up actually choking Sebastian, an 11-year-old boy at the time, cannot put their hands on children anymore. And we're working on getting that passed in Santa Cruz City, so as well, to protect more children.
Proddy's group also traveled to Sacramento to support Senate Bill 331, also called Peaky's Law, Keeping Children Safe from Family Violence. The bill would direct the Judicial Council of California to expand training for judges on domestic violence and child abuse. During testimonies on an April 25th committee hearing in support of the bill, 10-year-old Zoe Winiger, with her mother Jill Montez by her side, tearfully testified that she and her brother were traumatized when they were taken to a reunification camp.
We were kidnapped and then told that all the horrible things that happened to us was just a lie. 4 months after being taken, we were rescued and made a home to our mom. We are all diagnosed with complex PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and my brother overdosed on antidepressants and nearly died. We had nightmares about the reunification camp for weeks.
And as my colleague at the Public Press, Vijay Sundaram, recently reported, Pique's law was unanimously endorsed by California's Senate Judiciary Committee last month. If the bill is approved by both houses of the legislature and signed by the governor, it would establish judicial reporting requirements on reunification training and on expert testimony in child custody proceedings. Several states are considering similar bills to comply with a provision in the Federal Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act of 2022. The act promises states up to $25 million in grants if their reforms comply with national requirements. This is a developing story that we will continue reporting on. Don't miss an update. Sign up for our free newsletter by going to sfpublicpress.org/newsletter. If you or anyone you know is suffering from domestic abuse, help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides confidential assistance to anyone affected by domestic violence through a live chat and a free 24-hour hotline at 800-799-7233. I'm Sylvie Sturm, and you've been listening to a bonus episode of Civic. Civic comes to you from KSFP LP 102.5 FM in San Francisco. Our theme music is by John Dillon. Additional music was supplied by the Blue Dot Sessions. Our team includes producer Leanna Wilcox and contributor Mel Baker, who is also the program director at KSFP. Cynthia Chavez is our vocal coach. KSFP is a project of the San Francisco Public Press, a nonprofit investigative newsroom. Find our reporting at sfpublicpress.org. Thanks for listening.